And good morning. Welcome to Community Voice. I am your host, Josh Engel. Today is Tuesday, November 29th. Just wanted to double check that real quick. Time is 8:30 a.m. in the morning, and I am joined with Julianne Foster. She's the current president for the Rotary Club of Carrollton. Today we're going to be chatting about, it's pretty much an all-purpose show about the Rotary Club. We're going to chat about the purpose and history, as well as some major events, highlights from the past few years, and big events that are going to be coming up in the next few months. We are also live streaming on our WLBB Facebook page. So if you have any questions or comments for Mrs. Foster or for the Rotary Club of Carrollton, feel free to type them in, and I'd be happy to read them out to our guest. Good morning, Miss Foster.
Good morning.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing fine. I appreciate you having me on today.
Well, thank you for waking up with us and coming on to chat about the Rotary Club. So if we could, tell us a bit about yourself and your history.
Well, first of all, in relation to the Rotary Club, I joined the club 19 years ago, and part of that was my previous background was in journalism, and I was used to talking with people, going out and doing interviews, those kind of things. And now we're for Carrollton City Schools, and at that time, it was great going to see the kids and everything, but I kind of missed the community connection beyond the school system. So it was a great way to still be connected to Carrollton and Carroll County as a whole in our community, and I really enjoyed that aspect of it, and just knowing that the club is something that people join not just for the socializing and the fellowship and the network connecting, but also because of the service. You know, the motto of Rotary Club International is service above self, and so it's real important that we have service projects and different things that we do to promote our county, promote our community, and I'm just really proud to be a part of it.
Well, tell us a bit about you. So where are you from? Did you grow up here originally?
I'm originally from Decatur, Georgia, so I'm not too far from, I grew up not too far from here. I came to Carrollton through West Georgia when it was West Georgia College back then, but that's how my husband and I both ended up here. We're high school sweethearts and ended up in Carrollton, and we never wanted to go back to Atlanta, to be quite honest. I mean, it's changed a lot since I was there, but we've been here over 40 years now.
Excellent. So how did you first originally come in contact with the Rotary Club of Carrollton?
Well, it's through the school system. Our superintendent at the time had asked me to join the club. He thought it'd be good from a PR standpoint because my background's communications, and so it made sense for me to be connected in that way too. So it benefited the school system, but then I really wanted to do it because it benefited me.
Sure. So, what when you first attended attended your first meeting, what jumped out to you about this organization? What made it stand out to you?
Well, to be quite honest, I was a little bit intimidated because the Rotary Club has been in existence since 1939. I mean, the president of West Georgia is the one who founded the club, and the people who were in it tend to be the movers and shakers in the community. So for me, I was a communications person, and I felt a little intimidated. But then when I got there, everybody was so welcoming and engaging and really interested in everybody. It made me feel a lot more at home.
What year are we talking about here? Your first Rotary Club meeting?
Well, that was 19 years ago. So what's that?
Long time ago.
Yeah, a long time. I remember counting it up. It's 19 years, but
sure.
Thinking I'm approaching the 20-year mark with that. So that I guess it was
2002 or something like that.
Yeah,
or
2000. Yeah, 2003. I guess.
2003. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So do you remember?
Were you even born yet?
Oh, I definitely was. Definitely. I'm an 80s kid, believe it or not.
Okay.
This perfect skin routine is a secret. I'm not going to tell anybody. Head and Shoulders, actually. Yeah. So so do you remember any particular individuals from the club back then that were very welcoming to you and that stand out in your memory?
Well, one of the people I'm still close to, and he doesn't come as often as he used to, is Steve Davis, who is the former pastor of First Baptist Church. He's one of my favorite people from long ago and even today. And then there's some people like Bunny Goddard and Lynn Kress, who are still very active members of the club who are my go-tos for things. So they've been real helpful in that regard. And, just there have been some people who have since passed away who I was extremely close to. One of them was Stanley Parkman, who was the former publisher of the Times-Georgian, or founder of the Times-Georgian, actually, years ago. And so he was my mentor when I used to work at the newspaper. So I worked there a long time, and I really miss him even today. I think about him a lot.
So tell us about the Rotary Club. So what is the purpose of the Rotary Club?
Well, the Rotary Club, initially the whole idea, the reason it's called Rotary is because it was a chance for Paul Harris, who's the one who founded the club, and he, just wanted people to have regular opportunities to meet, and they rotated from different businesses at the time. He was a businessman who wanted to connect with other business leaders in the community, so that's how the club started, and it, started off as that social networking component kind of thing, but then they saw they had the opportunity and had the means actually to do things to help the community. So then that aspect of it grew from there, and it's just continued on, and it's an international club now. So it's it's all over the world, and it's you just have people doing all kinds of things. You think about polio. Rotary's been really responsible, or really instrumental rather, in the eradication of polio. We're very close to it being eradicated, not all the way yet, but there are hardly any wild cases of polio left. So that's been a big hallmark kind of sponsorship or activity that the Rotary is real proud of.
Sure. So now, in terms of the polio, their attention that they have put on the eradication of polio, in what ways have they impacted that? Has it been through benefits, fundraising? How did the Rotary Club go about that?
Well, each club usually has a fundraiser for that. In fact, this year we had a goal of $700, and we had a budget item of $700 and raise funding for it. We ended up getting $1,000. So we're real proud of that. And so we'll send that straight to the End Polio Now campaign, which is an international campaign. And clubs all over the place do that. And then, the Rotary is also helped by, the Bill Gates and Melinda Gates Foundation does like a matching program for that. So it's really a big effort on a lot of people's part, but it just goes to show you what that volume of people and how they come together and, more what they do makes it a bigger thing for everybody. So it works out to be a really good way to work on a cause like that.
That's fantastic. So the modern Rotary Club today, you've been in there for 19 years now here in Carrollton. How have you seen it grow?
Well, actually, a lot of civic clubs have kind of we've actually maintained right at about 100 members the whole time I've been in it. Wow. So and it comes and goes. It fluctuates a little bit. The pandemic was kind of tough because when people aren't engaging in person, it made it difficult. We did Facebook Live during this whole past Rotary year, not this Rotary year, and previously to just try to keep people connected. We decided to move away from Facebook Live because we felt like part of the point of Rotary is to fellowship and be with each other. So once we felt everything was safe, then we discontinued that to encourage people to come back. And our daily or weekly attendance has grown from that. So that was encouraging.
We're going to go and take our first commercial break. But when we come back, we will continue our conversation with the current president for the Rotary Club of Carrollton, Julianne Foster, as we talk about the Rotary Club, highlights over the past few years, and some exciting events to look forward to in the next couple of months. So stay with us.
Health is a journey. It's making better choices, even when it's not easy. It's taking care of yourself and the people you love. At Tanner Health System, we're there for you with every step, with primary care, heart care, cancer care, women's care, orthopedics, surgical services, and so much more. We're dedicated to helping you live and feel your best. So let's get on that journey to health. You've got places to be for many years to come. Find us at tanner.org.
I'm Michael Flynn, Oak Mountain Academy class of 1978.
Katie Flynn, class of 2010.
Justin Flynn, class of 2014.
Logan Flynn, class of 2019.
And I'm Marnie Flynn, current teacher at OMA.
My uncle Richard Orm Flynn, a founding father of Oak Mountain Academy, had a vision to see students become confident leaders who hold a faith-based value system in an academically rigorous environment. We are proud to celebrate 60 years of fulfilling my uncle's vision.
Our family invites you to visit the campus or oakmountain.us today.
And we're back to Community Voice. Today is Tuesday, November 29th. I'm your host, Josh Engel. Today we're chatting with Julianne Foster. She is the current president for the Rotary Club of Carrollton, has been a member at the Carrollton Rotary now for 19 years, and had been a part of Rotary before, so she's the expert. We definitely have the right person in the studio with us today. If you're just tuning in, be sure to watch the Facebook Live that is currently being uploaded onto our WLBB Facebook page. So if you have any questions or comments, feel free to type them in. I'd be happy to read them out to our guests. If you don't have a chance to do that, go back and check out the full episode. Hear a bit of the history of the Rotary Club and, of course, more specifically, the Rotary Club of Carrollton. So let's get into highlights, events over the last few years. The pandemic slowed some folks down, but it didn't slow you guys down too much. You still put on events and still managed to find safe and creative ways to do that, both during and before the pandemic.
Yeah, we had, like you said, last few years have been quite challenging, but we've weathered the storm well. Last year, Scott Robinson was the president, and he did a great job of not using the pandemic, but because of the pandemic, he was real passionate about helping people in nursing homes. He personally had experienced that with his own parents and saw how isolating it was, and it was just not a good thing for people to go through on both sides, the residents of the nursing home and their families who wanted to visit them. So he did a campaign called #NotForgotten, which was to support find ways to engage people in nursing homes and make them feel better about themselves and to feel like they were cared about. So he did that and got a grant to buy karaoke equipment and art supplies to take to nursing homes, and so that's been done. So several of those have benefited from that, and that was a really good effort. And then last year also is when the West Georgia Talent Competition was launched, and the funding from that carries over to the following year. So for my year, it gave us an opportunity to think about what we want to do along those lines. And the one thing we're supporting, we also received a grant from Rotary, the District Rotary, District 6900, which is the district that we belong to, a grant to pay for booklets for the Carroll County Advocacy Center, or I guess you're familiar with them. That's the organization that works to raise awareness of child sexual abuse. So we're working closely with Amanda Card, the executive director there, to put on some public events so people can go through the Darkness to Light training, which is the official training to try to get people, make them aware of that. So we feel real good about that. And then we also do some stuff for the Blake House. Sandra Morris is another person who's real instrumental in our club, and she is passionate about that particular nonprofit, and so we're also doing some work for them and helping them get some funding for this year.
That's fantastic. Could you tell a bit about what the Blake House does for folks who may be unaware?
Okay. The Blake House is an addiction recovery program. It's just for men, and it's a Christian-based program. That's it's in Harrelson County. The location right now is in Harrelson County, but they serve people all around, and people have probably seen their thrift stores. There's several of them around. There's some here in Carrollton, and those thrift stores help support the program too. So through grant funding, they are able to, between grant funding, their thrift stores and other means, they're able to help men get on the road to recovery and get back to strong supporters with their families.
Excellent. So I was hoping to hear some of the reaction to the program you put together to raise karaoke and music and art supplies for individuals that were in the senior communities in our senior living centers, especially during those isolated years of the COVID pandemic. Mm-hmm. Do you have any feedback on how those were received? What kind of have you guys had an opportunity to stop by and visit some of the tenants and see them belt out a couple of songs? Yeah,
we have. Sandra Morris and Scott in particular went out to do that, and they really enjoyed it. And the activities directors at the centers were very appreciative of having that opportunity for them. So it was very well received, and it was something that they couldn't have afforded to do on their own. So we were excited that we could provide that for them. And the art supplies are a great idea because, if you have art supplies, you're not trapped anywhere. You can draw and be anywhere you want. Right. It really, it just also kind of frees up it's just something about art in general, whether it's music or visual arts or just creative arts of any kind. It just somehow is freeing, and it just raises the mood, and it's just something really stimulating, and
it gets the mind going. It keeps it active. It keeps it active. So I mean, that's a big the big last couple of years. I mean, how if you could kind of give us an idea of how that last West Georgia talent, how that last event happened how it went down.
Well, it was an idea Scott had. He loves to watch that, America's Got Talent and then The Voice and all those shows. He and his wife really enjoy those, and he got to thinking about it and thought, we should be able to do something like that here. And then he had Patrick Uranja, his background, he's the president of Oak Mountain Academy, but he also has a big background in performing arts. So, so he knows, he's an expert on the talent part of that, and he knew that there's talent out here that could make that show really good. There are people like me who were a little bit apprehensive about it, because I thought, do we really have that much talent? Like, I'm thinking about those shows and the caliber of talent that are on those shows.
Yeah, and those are culminations of every state in the union.
Right. And I'm thinking, right here, how are we going to have that talent?
Will folks be interested in showing off their talent?
Right. So, but they were able to pull it together and got a lot of. Actually, it was an excellent show. I was just blown away by it, to be honest. And I even asked them before we agreed to go ahead and go forward with it this year. I said, do you think we just use it all up already, or do we going to be able to get some more? And Patrick assured me, he says, I'm telling you right now, there's not going to be any problem getting good talent again. So, and we're going to also invite some of the ones to come back who were really good, or any of them who want to come really, but because they were all excellent. And it's going to still be that kind of variety where you have the component where you have, like we had the dance academies come, and so the younger children can come and participate, and then you have some fantastic soloists who can really belt out a tune and just blow you away. So we had this real good range of talent, and that was nice too. So it wasn't just specifically just singing. We had people. We had one saxophonist who was incredible. We just had some really unique and versatile talent. And
I'm glad that folks came out of the woodwork. Like, if you're a great saxophone player, everyone loves the saxophone. It's such a great instrument. But more often than not, they are accompanying in a band.
Right.
This is a great opportunity for them to be like, you know what, my saxophone skills are more than enough to merit my entry into this competition, and they showed up and showed out.
Right, that's exactly right, and that's what made it so successful. And we're hopeful that because it was so successful last year, that more people will come to enjoy it too, and it might encourage other talent to come out when they see, that this did work out well. Because the first year is always kind of. You approach it with trepidation anyway, because you just really don't know if it's going to be something. You
don't want to make it too big of a deal, then nothing happens.
Right. So anybody, or do you even want to participate? But now it's going to start developing a reputation. We have another Rotary member named George Linnaeus, who is past president, and he's really involved in community theater and has been for years. And he is another person who could speak from experience and knowledge, and said this is a fundraiser he feels like we can carry on for quite some time.
That's fantastic. We're actually going to talk more about that here in just a moment. We're going to go and take our second commercial break, but when we return, we're going to chat more about the upcoming events that the Rotary Club of Carrollton has planned for this community and beyond. So stay with us.
Health is a journey. It's making better choices, even when it's not easy. It's taking care of yourself and the people you love. At Tanner Health System, we're there for you with every step, with primary care, heart care, cancer care, women's care, orthopedics, surgical services, and so much more. We're dedicated to helping you live and feel your best. So let's get on that journey to health. You've got places to be for many years to come. Find us at tanner.org.
As a believer in the power of education, we are called to set the standard by shaping and empowering the minds of future generations through quality education. Oak Mountain Academy embraces this philosophy, which is why my children attend this prestigious school. I am elated to serve on the OMA Board of Trustees, where together we prepare students and remind them to trust and believe in the power to transform the world. I'm Dr. Brian Bain, inviting you to celebrate our 60-year legacy of academic excellence. Visit us at oakmountain.us.
And good morning. Welcome back to Community Voice. Today's Tuesday, November 29th. Time is 8:50 a.m. I'm your host, Josh Engel. Our guest today, Mrs. Julianne Foster. She's the current president for the Rotary Club of Carrollton. If you're just tuning in, be sure to check out the podcast of this episode, which will be uploaded to the station's website, as well as gradicommunications.com. Or you could always go back and watch the WLBB Facebook live stream, which is going on right now. So if you have any questions or comments for our guest, Mrs. Julianne Foster, the current president of the Rotary Club, or just questions about Rotary, feel free to drop those in the comments. I'd be proud to read them out. So we're at the tail end now of our show. Here I have my fellow left-handed guest, Julianne Foster. Let's talk about the future. What's coming up for the Rotary? We were just talking a bit about the West Georgia Talent Competition. That's going to be going on again. Let's talk about that and other events you have planned.
Well, the talent competition is a big thing going on right now, and I had also mentioned our partnership with the Carroll County Child Advocacy Center about how we're going to support them this year. There's also just one of the things that we've done this year, too, is because of the pandemic, we're really trying to get back into a structure. We lost a lot of our structure just because we had to. We just had to adapt. And so we're trying to pull that structure back in. That's something I feel like is important with my term and trying to set it up for the future on doing, having that structure in there, getting our committees back functional. We have different committees. All of our Rotarians are involved, and they're all on a committee of some sort. So we have, like community service is one, like I talked about earlier, the service above self. Dave Higgins is our director who heads that up. And one of the things that kind of fell to the wayside during the pandemic was the roadside cleanup project that we did. So that's something we're getting ready to implement again.
Is that a partnership with Keep Carroll Beautiful?
Yes,
it is.
the
Adopt a Road
Yeah,
program.
Adopt a Road. He's been meeting with Keep Carroll Beautiful to establish a new place for us to go to that we felt like would be beneficial for the community. So he's been in the process of working on that. I'm excited that we're going to be doing that. We just finished up Share the Warmth, which is a big fundraiser headed by Bunny Goddard. It's not a fundraiser, it's a community support. We collected donations of clothing, and we had people come over to the First Baptist Church Fellowship Hall, and everything's free. They just get everything, and people were so appreciative when they showed up, people who really needed these things. And there was one lady who came, she made 2 trips back because there's some people who were homeless that she knows about who live in tents. And so she came back to get things for them on 2 occasions on that day. So that's something that's really gratifying that we're doing to help the community that way.
Stories like that go a long way. They speak to people.
Mm-hmm.
Hearing stories like that kind of on the ground impact, that goes a long way. And feeling that feeling, the accomplishment of actually serving the community, really making a difference, trying to help somebody.
Right, and this is something, Bunny herself, she's the one who started the whole thing, and she's still is just as passionate about it now as she was when she started it. And again, that was something that kind of fell to the wayside during the pandemic too. So we're just trying to get some of those things going again, to get that structure in place, to get our Rotarians more engaged. We're always open to new membership too. We would love to have more people who would like to come visit us and just see if this is something that works for them. We also have the Dawnbreakers Rotary Club is also a Carrollton club. It meets in the mornings. So they have breakfast meeting, we have a lunch meeting. So I'd encourage anybody, even if they don't think a lunch meeting is going to work for them, they feel like the Dawnbreakers would be a better fit, I'm all for it. I want them to do that. We're not competing in that way. It's just a matter of getting people all involved in Rotary.
And the giving them the opportunity to serve, contribute to a good cause, and to have that networking and that partnership. Plus, you have a great meal. You get to come out for a good meal. So when do you guys? When do y'all normally meet? So you meet in
we meet on Tuesdays at noon at Sunset Hills Country Club.
Okay.
And one thing we've also done a little bit different this year, just to kind of change it up, is that we've actually had some off-site meetings. So we had one meeting at West Georgia Technical College to take a tour of the new campus over there, and that was really, really interesting. I think everybody really enjoyed that. And then what we did one a few weeks ago, we went to Local Ties Brewery and had our meeting there. And so everybody got to talk to the head brewer, Justin, and then the owners, Tori, with the Griffins on the brewery, and it was really fun. I think people really enjoyed that. And so I know I've been back there a couple of times since, and I've seen some Rotarians in there, so it was good for them, and it was exciting for us. And then in 2 weeks we're going to go have an offsite to the West Georgia Quilt Museum, and so we'll have our meeting there. So
this is great. I mean, this is an opportunity. Join the club. You can have a great meal, and from time to time, you'll get to hit up some spots. Get to go out and
we
check
try to make
out.
it convenient. They're not too, they're close, and they're and just have to make sure we can accommodate a crowd, because we will have, roughly 60 to 80 members attend on a regular basis, and so we just got to make sure we can accommodate that. But it really has been fun to do that.
That's great. Yeah, the Quilt Museum, Technical College. So this West Georgia talent competition that's going to be coming up soon. When will that be happening?
The talent competition, the actual show, is going to be Saturday, January 28th, and at the Carrollton Cultural Arts Center. Last year we did it at the Mabry Center for the Arts on the Carrollton City School campus, but it's really the Cultural Arts Center can accommodate us a little better. Tim Chapman, who was one of our judges last year, he was real helpful in helping us pull it off, and he offered the Cultural Arts Center to us this year to do it.
Shout out to Tim Chapman. We love Tim Chapman. He's the best.
Oh, he is. He is.
Oh, yeah.
I love him too. So he's been very, very helpful in that, and he's actually some of the talent. He's actually found some of that talent from the show to use in some of his shows. So it's kind of this symbiotic relationship too. So it works out. And
there is a website where you can learn more information about that. It's westgatalent.com. We went on the website. There is the deadline to upload your entry. That's one of the cool things about this competition. You can actually audition for the competition by uploading a video.
Right. That makes it a lot easier for everyone. And then it also worked out well. Again, we're on the cusp of the end of the well, still not the end of the pandemic probably, but we were it gave people freedom to feel like they could be safe in doing it too, to see if they would make it. So
excellent. So the deadline to upload those videos, it's January 6th, 2023, January 6th. So that will be the deadline to upload your video and participate alongside some other great talents, and all know that it's all going to a good cause. All this is working to will the money raised from this year's event, how will it be used?
Well, we'll put it in our budget, and then the next president, our president-elect right now is Anna Clifton, and she will do a great job. And so she's got some ideas on what she wants to do. I'll save those ideas for her to express another day, but she has some really good plans, what she would like to do. So any of that is going to be helping her, so it kind of just moves forward. And then we also just have general things that we support all year. There are scholarships. We usually support like Friends of the Library, and there's just lots of charities that we regularly support, and we'll continue to support those as well.
Excellent. Well, where can folks learn more about the Rotary Club and schedule upcoming events, stuff like that?
Well, we have a website. It's carrolltonrotary.com. So that's the basis of information you'll find. And then there's a bunch of links at the top. There's more about the history. There's who our leadership members are, and then there's also ways that you can learn how you can contact even other members. And then also there's a place for you to, if you're interested in coming to visit or to possibly join, there's ways to do that too. Excellent.
Well, Mrs. Julianne Foster, thank you so much for coming on the program today and chatting with us a bit about Rotary Club. And we look forward to having you and some other Rotarians on the show sometime in the near future.
Okay, thank you.
And thank you, all of you tuning in at home. We'll see you next time.